present Kenneth Williams, Derek Nimmo, Clement Freud, and Sheila Hancock in Just a Minute. And as the minute waltz fades away, here to tell you about it is our chairman, Nicholas Parsons.
Thank you very much indeed. Hello. Welcome once again to Just a Minute, and once again it's my pleasure to welcome these four delightful and beautiful players of the game, who of course need no introduction to you all here in the audience and the listeners at home. Once again, the rules are as before. I'm going to ask each one of them to speak in turn, if they can, for 60 seconds on some unlikely subject, without hesitation, without repetition, and without deviating from the subject. And one of the other three may challenge if they think they're guilty of doing this. If I agree with the challenge, they will gain a point, and if I disagree with the challenge, a point will go to whoever is speaking. That's the way we play, and Sheila Hancock, will you begin this round for us? The subject is a nice cup of tea. Would you talk for a minute on that, starting now?
When I was very young, the first song that I remember my mother singing to me was, I like a nice cup of tea in the morning and a nice cup of tea at night and at 11:30.
Derek Nimmo has challenged. Why?
Well, your mother was repeating herself.
Well, that's my mother's fault, not mine.
What was she repeating, Derek?
A nice cup of tea.
A nice cup of tea is the actual subject matter.
What is the subject matter?
Derek Nimmo, the subject matter on the card is a nice cup of
Oh, well,
tea.
never mind.
And we have established in this game that you can repeat the subject matter at least 2 or 3 times.
Of course you can.
So, Derek Nimmo, I disagree with your challenge. Don't try and get out of it by pretending you're being frightfully magnanimous, because all that happens is Sheila Hancock gains a point because I disagree with your challenge, and if you don't shut up, you'll lose another point. And there are 47 seconds left, Sheila, for a nice cup of tea starting now.
And at 11:30, my idea of heaven is the thing that Derek Nimmo says I mustn't say. I like a nice cup of tea first thing when I wake up in the morning, and I give one to my mother and the dog.
Derek, Clement Freud, you've challenged. Why?
We've repeated Mother.
When
Mother
did
started and
Mother
she's
was
just
there.
come
She
back
taught
in
the
again.
song in the first place.
Yes, that's right. She did. Mother has come back in again.
She
Yes,
raised
so-
her ugly
I
head.
thought she had a nice singing voice.
But alas, we can't have a repetition of Sheila's mother in this particular show because she can't say it more than once. I agree with your challenge, Clement. You gain a point. You take over the subject, and there are 25 seconds left for a nice cup of tea, starting now.
There are many who think that the nicest of all possible cups of tea is lemon tea served with ice. And this should be sweetened not with sugar, but with a syrup made by using the...
Kenneth Williams, you've challenged.
Hesitation.
Oh, well.
By using the...
He did hesitate at one point. No, it's unfair to ask
I
you
admit
where.
it.
Yes, I know.
You're a sport. You're a sport.
No, he did hesitate there. Kenneth, you take the subject over of a nice cup of tea, and there are 8 seconds left, starting now.
I am often referred to as a nice cup of tea. And
Clement Freud, you've challenged.
Hesitation?
He was waiting for the audience laughter to
You've
die
got-
down,
you
which is
can't talk back
entirely
to
justified.
people.
Don't...
Good gracious, it's disobeying one's natural instinct.
Well, don't show the other natural instincts by stripping at this present moment, Kenneth.
Well, it's so hot. Just take that. It's a décolleté. You know what I mean?
I don't know what you feel. But would you keep the nice cup of tea that you've established you already are? Maybe that's why you were stripping. Anyway, there are 2 seconds left for you to carry on with your nice
2
cup of tea.
seconds?
2 seconds, that's all.
Hello.
That's all, and he's going to start now.
One for me and one for the pot, and put the tea over and away we go. Yes, go on. Go on,
No,
tell him who's in the
just
lead.
wanna-
Go on, tell him who's in the lead.
Just contain yourself a minute, because I do want to. We might have somebody who's never heard the programme before and would like to know that that whistle was blown by Ian Messiter, who thought of the game.
Oh, they're not interested in him. Tell him who's in the lead.
And they would definitely like to know that that whistle tells us that 60 seconds is up.
Yeah, but tell him who's in the lead.
And I'm sure that it's very important that they should know that whoever is speaking when the whistle goes gains an extra point. And I'm sure they'll be fascinated to hear that at the end of that first round, Kenneth Williams has a commanding lead.
Oh, victory, joy.
Keep it up, Kenneth, keep it up. You have a lead of 2 over everybody else. And the next subject could not be more apt. We want you to begin it, Kenneth.
yes.
It's sensationalism.
Oh.
Yes, that's shattered you a little, hasn't it? Well, sensationalism, it's almost too difficult to say, isn't it? Sensationalism, 60 seconds, starting now.
This is something which newspapers are famous for. Banner headlines proclaim a sensation, and people rush to buy a copy finding out what this sensation is about.
Clement Freud, you've challenged.
Repetition.
Of what?
Sensation.
Absolutely right. Yes, we must establish what it was. I agree with the challenge, Clement. You gain a point. You take
Wasn't
over
it
the
the
subject.
title?
No.
43 seconds left, starting now.
Sensationalism is the tray, T-R-A-I, and the first letter repeated, of using the sort of standing out
Kenneth
events.
Williams, you challenged.
Well, it was hesitation.
It was hesitation,
hesitation.
yes. He was showing off. T-R-A-I, and first letter repeated, and then he paused. Right. Kenneth, you take over the subject, having gained another point. 32 seconds left. Sensationalism starting now.
I know people that like it done to them with feathery fingers.
Sheila Hancock has challenged.
Deviation.
Yes, but he hasn't deviated from
He
the...
will if you give him a chance.
Well, Sheila, all I can say is you must give him that chance, because he
Oh,
hasn't
dear.
deviated from the
Will be
subject on
taken
the
off
card.
the air if you let him go on, be it on your own head.
Well, it must be on my head then, because I must play the rules, and this is deviation from the subject. He hasn't done that yet, so Kenneth has another point, and there are 28 seconds left for sensationalism starting now.
They like to be tickled. This results in sensationalism. Sensationalism means for its own sake, you see, as opposed to something which is an unexpected surprise apropos of quite another. I'll slip open that very quickly. There should be the sparkle.
Clement Freud, you've challenged.
Well, deviation.
The lot.
The lot.
No, there was deviation. We don't know what you were talking about. He said it on the curve. Clement Freud has a point. He takes over the subject. 9 seconds left. Sensationalism starting now.
Blindfolded chimpanzee locked in bubble car.
Kenneth Williams, why have you challenged?
There is nothing sensational about chimpanzees being blindfolded. I've done it frequently. It's such an everyday occurrence.
Well, all I can say, you
ludicrous,
should be ashamed of the sensationalism that you are likely to cause by doing it. Clement Freud has another point, and he keeps the subject, and there are 5 seconds left, starting now.
You're never alone is a headline which you might frequently...
I'm sure you'll agree, listeners, that some of the subjects that Ian Messiter thinks up are very difficult for me to adjudicate on. I hope I do it fairly. But now at the end of that round, Clement Freud and Kenneth Williams are equal in the lead, and Derek and Sheila are trailing more than somewhat. And Clement Freud, it's your turn to begin the next round. The subject is pleasure. Can you talk on that for just a minute, starting now?
Pleasure is dancing barefoot with Derek Nimmo on the water meadows of Walberswick. Alternately, the
Yeah.
trickle of golden guineas running through the hands into a money bag. Or, to put it another way, coming into my house and finding it unburgled, which permanently lifts my heart and improves my general outlook on this dreary life which Derek Nimmo knows so well that I lead.
Derek Nimmo, why have you challenged?
Repetition of Derek Nimmo.
Yes.
You
very
can't
well
have
challenged.
too much.
But you can't get out of it that way. Derek, I agree with your challenge, a repetition of your name. So you take over the subject of pleasure. There are 32 seconds left, starting now.
Oh, my goodness, I'm such a lucky fellow, because so much gives me pleasure to know. When I go on Brighton Beach and I pick up a pebble and I examine it very closely and see the green and blue lights flashing at me, this is a moment for me of absolute and complete happiness. And yet I have to look only into the eye of a needle, and through it I see a bead shining on the wall, leaning...
Clement Freud, you've
Hesitation.
challenged. Hesitation, alas, because it was rather beautiful and very clever to keep going like that in such a bizarre way. There are 11 seconds left, Clement, for pleasure, starting now.
The inside of an elephant's thigh
Everybody's challenged, but Kenneth got in first.
Because that's indecent. I've come here to filth. I'm not going to sit here to a load of filth. Insides of people's thighs.
So why are you challenging?
And why did she challenge? Look at Sheila, she went white. Through the call, the lady on this show, you know. The lady over there,
thanks,
that's
Ken.
a lady.
Thank you.
Well, let's establish why you've challenged, then,
It's
Kenneth.
indecent insides of
That's
people's...
not one of the subjects that you can
It's
challenge for
deviation,
indecency.
of course.
Deviation.
Yes.
I don't know. It's very difficult for me because to another elephant...
Well, ask them why
to
they
another
all
elephant,
started.
the inside of an elephant's thigh might be a great pleasure. It's very difficult, isn't it? So shall I ask the audience to judge? Because I think, according to the subject, he's not deviating from the subject, but let you be the final judges of taste. That's how I put it. If you agree with Kenneth's challenge, will you cheer? And if you disagree, will you boo? Will you all do it together now?
Yes, I think that's definitely my side.
They want that element of decency that you bring to the
Of
show.
course, you see.
Never a
only you
moment
will.
of suggestiveness or filth or anything like that from you,
Precisely,
Kenneth. Right.
exactly.
So you take over the subject of pleasure with 7 seconds left, starting now.
This is always retrospect. perspective. It is only when we look back that we realise how lovely it all is.
As Kenneth was speaking when the whistle went, he gets that extra point. And Sheila Hancock, will you begin the next round? And the subject is chips. Can you talk for just a minute on that, starting now?
When I'm abroad, the only thing I desire more than anything in the world is a bag of chips. I don't know what it is, but there's something about the smell of salt and vinegar that one misses dearly. I'm not frightfully good at making these objects, however. I am told that you have to have a deep frying pan and plenty of oil. You can cut your potatoes in various shapes, long, thin fingers, or short, round bits.
Kenneth Williams, why have you challenged?
She's being suggestive.
It's in the mind of the beholder.
You've got the quotation wrong in the eye.
You've just got a filthy mind,
Yes,
Kenneth.
that's it. And this time, not only do I disagree with you entirely, but you're not going to get the audience on your side by appealing to their sense of decency and good taste.
Oh, don't bother about me. Just kick me as you pass.
I bet he would, actually.
No, Sheila Hancock still has her chips. And she has 34 seconds to continue talking about them, starting now.
Which reminds me that there is a saying that you have had these things on the card, which means usually that you're finished and done.
Clement Freud, why are you challenged?
Repetition of these things. She said it 3 times. Would have been better to have said chips.
It would have been better
At least
to have
chips
said
is on the
chips.
card.
Yes, she actually has said card before, but I don't know about these things. She has said these things, yes, it's true. She did it 3 times now.
These
yes.
foolish things.
Yes, we can get away. That's a rather hard challenge, I must say, Clement Freud.
Yes.
A rather hard challenge. But
Yes.
if I play the game fairly, I must give you a point and the subject, and there are 27 seconds left for chips, starting now.
The French have different names to describe chips. The very thick ones are called pommes pour neuf, after which they become frites.
Sheila Hancock is challenged.
Hesitation.
Hesitation,
And
indeed.
affectation as well.
But I can only give you 1 point for the hesitation. And you have your chips back again, Sheila, with 15 seconds left, starting now.
They definitely taste better out of newspaper. There's something about the flavour out of newspaper which
Oh,
is...
Clement Freud is challenged.
fool, Sheila, fool!
Clement Freud has the subject with that challenge, and there are 5 seconds left for chips, starting now.
Nicely fried to a golden...
Derek Nimmo, why have you challenged?
Is Freud allowed? Because he repeated it.
Oh,
No.
yes, of course he did. Don't say
Is it allowed?
Brilliant.
Fried has been used, so
Yes.
you have a point, Derek, and you have the subject for 1 second. Chips starting now.
When the chips are down,
Clement Freud challenged you before the chips were down.
You can't talk
Yes, you
about...
can, in this particular game. Derek Nimmo has another point. There's half a second left for chips, starting now.
and now they're taking the 0 away from me, it does make a tremendous difference to the game because the money goes into the house where it used to before. All go back to the people who were competing in the game. I
So
go to many
Derek Nimmo, who
casinos
was
and I do
looking very
find...
hurt before, should have changed his tone by now because he's suddenly got 4 points, but he's still only in 3rd place behind Kenneth Williams, who is behind Clement Freud, who's still in quite a commanding lead. Kenneth, will you begin the next round for us? The subject is Captain Cook. Can you tell us something about him in 60 seconds, starting now?
There are many people with this name, of course. That's gives rise to the expression that too many of them spoiled the broth. But the one that I think we're dealing with here was the one who, in the 18th century, vainly tried to find a passage through the Pacific, the Atlantic and Pacific.
Clement Freud, why have you challenged?
I wonder.
What's the matter with him? I'm trying to block him out.
If you don't quickly come out of your sense of wonderment... Hesitation, yes, there was a slight hesitation. Hesitating. Right, Clement Freud has the
Saves it,
subject.
might come
And
back
there are
to
40
him.
seconds left for Captain Cook, starting now.
When he landed on the north coast of Australia, he did not receive the sort of welcome that...
Derek Nimmo, you've challenged.
Hesitation.
Hesitation, I agree, Derek, you have the subject, and there are 32 seconds left for Captain Cook. Too many cooks we've had. Captain Cook, starting now.
When I joined the Royal Ulster Rifles and when...
Clement Freud, why have you challenged?
Deviation, he didn't.
When did you join them, Derek?
About 14 years ago, come Michaelmas.
I've got to take my life in my hands and say I don't believe you.
Well, I'm sorry.
On your oath, did you join the Ulster Rifles? On your oath, as a good churchman on television?
No, but
No!
Oh, in that moment of weakness, I admired you.
He was allowed to join the Royal Ulster Rifles before.
You didn't challenge him for not joining them.
There,
Yeah, right, change.
All right, so Clement Freud has another point, and there are
that is very interesting.
28 seconds left for the Royal Ulster Rifle. No, it's not for that. 28 seconds left for Captain Cook, starting now. And Derek Nimmo's challenge this time.
Well, he's all packed up. Hesitation.
Yes, yes.
Was it me?
I did say it.
I'm
It's quite
sorry,
clear.
I-
You were having a little game
there was
with
a
your friends.
filibuster going
I know.
on.
No, I did nothing to interrupt him at all. No.
That is a Highland accent. It is
is
not
it
an
really?
Ulster accent. It is not even an Irish accent.
But he was
So-
supposed to talk about Captain Cook. Well, I was just looking at him and he failed. Come in.
Well, stop playing with him and let us get on with the game. Derek Nimmo has gained a point because Clement Freud not only didn't hesitate, he actually packed up. And you have the subject of Captain Cook. I think we're still on Captain Cook, aren't we? Anybody in the audience still remember? We've got Captain Cook, Derek Nimmo, 27 seconds starting now.
When I was in His Majesty's Intelligence Corps, we had nearby a unit of the Army catering thing. And
Sheila Hancock, why have you challenged?
Hesitation.
Right, Sheila Hancock has a point, and there were 16 seconds left for Captain Cook, starting now.
He was a dear old man that I used to meet on the beach at Shanklin. I used to collect shells, and Derek Nimmo's tickling me. Now, that's not fair, is
Clement Freud will challenge. Clement Freud challenged there.
Deviation.
Why?
Derek Nimmo tickling her. In the middle of Captain Cook.
Well, I must say, she might
On
have
the
been on the
beach at
beach.
Shanklin?
She might have been on the beach with this Captain Cook, and Derek Nimmo might have come up and tickled her for all I know. So therefore, Sheila Hancock has another point, and there are 7 seconds
on my
left.
oath, I did tickle her on the beach at Shanklin.
There are 7. I'm
And
not going to go any
only
further
on the
with
beach at Shanklin.
We are not going any further. We're trying to keep an element of taste in this program, Sheila. And there are 7 seconds left for Captain Cook, starting now.
And this gentleman and I used to collect seashells, out of which we made ashtrays.
Dennis Williams, why have you challenged?
Deviation, this has nothing to do with Captain Cook.
He was called Captain Cook, and he lived in Shanklin. It's another Captain Cook.
This is it, you see. Obviously, you think of the Captain Cook, but Sheila does know another Captain Cook who apparently lives in Shanklin, and if he doesn't, you better write to us and tell us, otherwise it'll all be too late anyway. So Sheila has another point, and there are 2 seconds left. Captain Cook, starting now.
He had a wooden leg that was made...
So, as Sheila was speaking then when the whistle went, she gains an extra point. And
It's
she
an
has-
absolute lie. I have to confess there wasn't a Captain Cook who lived in Shanklin.
I'm sorry, Sheila. You must
Just
not
me.
do this after you have just
Oh,
gained
I know,
so many
but
points.
I couldn't live with it, Nicholas.
Anyway, you weren't deviating from the subject.
Well, I
Well
have
done.
to cheat.
I'm
They
glad
all
your
cheat.
conscience
you
got
weren't
better of you,
cheating.
girl.
No.
I'm glad your
deviating
conscience got better of you. I'm glad you got the home with it. I like to hear that kind of thing. Very good. Very good at all. Very good. It's very salutary. Very salutary.
And that, listeners, was Kenneth Williams giving his impersonation of Clement Freud. At the end of that round, Sheila had leapt forward alongside Kenneth Williams, though she's the other side of the room, into 3rd place, who are 1 point now together behind Derek Nimmo, who is a few points behind our leader, who is still Clement Freud. And Derek Nimmo, will you begin the next round? The subject is bridge. Will you talk on that for just a minute, starting now?
Well, this is a game that was invented by the Ruskies, in which rather a curious display takes place. Somebody has to reveal their hand, and the chap opposite him, partnering him, plays it for him. It also, of course, can be a crossing place over a river, and these I like very much. My favourite ones are the one over the River Ware, which was immortalised in so many pieces of Sunderland.
Clement Freud, why do you challenge?
Hesitate.
Yes, there was a hesitation. Repetition of...
Immortalized in so many pieces. How can you
Yeah.
be immortalized in so many pieces of Sunderland?
Come on! I haven't finished.
How can you be immortalised in more than one piece anyway?
The pieces of
Why didn't you challenge him,
pottery,
boy?
I'm going to
I'm
say.
just laughing
All
at
that
my
happened.
humour. My humour got
If you'll
better.
just keep quiet a second, Kenneth. Thank you very much. All that happened, if you're still with just a minute, was that Clement Freud challenged for hesitation. I agreed. He gains a point and the subject, and there are 33 seconds left for bridge, starting now.
Spanning the River Thames, going east. You first come to Hampton, then Richmond.
Kenneth Williams, why do you challenge?
Well, you don't. It's deviation. You don't first come to it unless you're coming from a certain direction. And as he didn't state it first, which direction it's coming from, the whole statement is actually untrue.
What a funny way you have of establishing him as being devious. Yes, that's a very good challenge.
May I?
Very clever challenge.
A point of fairness. Mr. Clement Freud did say he was coming from the east. And it was established
No, he
quite
said he
early
was
on in the
Going
west.
east, and therefore...
But where
one-
east?
From east.
Well, from Hampton.
But if you're coming from the east,
No,
you
I said I
become...
was going east.
You're going west, mate, if you're
Yes,
not.
but you did not establish where you start from, and the first bridge you see is Hampton, then you are in deviation on the subject, because you might have been miles up the Thames, some way
Yes, you're
rises.
absolutely right.
So Kenneth Williams has a point, and he takes over the subject, Kenneth.
What is the subject?
Hampton, actually. It's
Bridge.
Hampton. Oh.
And there are 26 seconds left starting now.
The most famous bridge, I suppose, in the world is that incredible Sydney one, the cantilever principle on which it is built.
Kenneth Freud, why have you challenged?
Deviation.
Why?
On which it is built. It's actually built.
I don't think build, no. It's not quite fair. It's trying too hard, Clement. Kenneth has another point, and he keeps the bridge, and 14 seconds left, starting now.
And there's another enchanting one in St. James's Park, which spans the lake, and if you stand in the centre...
Derek Nimmo, why do you challenge?
Repetition of span.
Yes, the other one spanned at Sydney Harbour. So you've spanned twice.
You're enough mean. I picked you up on a daft thing like that.
Well, you
They're
would.
mean.
I don't think that was mean. I think it was rather good. He was listening. So Derek gets a point and the subject, and there are 8 seconds left for bridge, starting now.
Very important to have one of these in your mouth. Otherwise, you talk like Kenneth Williams.
Clement Freud challenged you, Derek. Why do you challenge Clement?
Repetition.
Of what? I will decide that the audience applause means that they agree with your challenge, because I will not interpret on that one. And there are 3 seconds left for you, Clement, on bridge, starting now.
Going west from London Bridge.
Derek Nimmo has challenged. Why?
Repetition of points of the compass.
He was going east before.
Yes, I know. Repetition of points of the compass. The south and north. When he gets to those, I'll challenge as well.
But he did not repeat the word, and this is usually the way. That's the type of repetition we give points on. So
He's
Clement
rattled.
has another point,
Badly
and still the
rattled
subject
he
of
is.
bridge, and 1 second to go, starting now.
Earth has not anything to show more fair. Dull would he be of thought he could pass by a sight so touching in its majesty.
Well, I'm afraid-
The city now doth like a garment wear the beauty of the morning. Silent, bare ships.
You've won without having to rub it in. I'm afraid that is all we have time for in this particular edition of Just a Minute. I'm sure you'll be delighted to know that almost equal in second place were Derek Nimmo, Kenneth Williams, and Sheila Hancock. And they were all a considerable way, in fact, twice as many points ahead was this week's winner, Clement Freud. I hope you've enjoyed this particular edition of Just a Minute, and from all of us here, goodbye.
Chairman of Just a Minute was Nicholas Parsons. The program was devised by Ian Messiter and produced by David Hatch.